You know what they say? All dogs are created equal. But you look at me and you look at the Hammer, and you can see that statement is not true. See, normally if you go one-on-one with another wrestler, you got a 50-50 chance of winning, pal. But I'm a genetic freak and I'm not normal, so you got a 25% chance at best to beat me. And then you add the German to the mix, the chances of you winning drastically go down. See, the three-way at Snackerfice, you got a 33 and a third chance of winning. But I got a 66 and 2/3 chance of winning because the German knows he can't beat me and he's not even gonna try. So, Hammer, you take your 33 and a third chance minus my 25% chance. You got 8 and a third chance of winning at Snackerfice, but then you take my 75% chance of winning. If we was to go one-on-one and then add 66 and 2/3% chance, I got a 141 and 2/3 chance of winning at Snackerfice. Hammer, the numbers don't lie. They spell disasters for you.
Welcome to Rough Cuts.
Dogs, they're coming. They're coming your way. They'll be here soon.
Some would say I come from humble beginnings. That is until I met the Ferraros. That was the day everything changed.
He's out! How would you like to be a wrestler?
Hot diggity dog!
Enough said. The name's Punk.
Yes!
There he is, the newest YouTube sensation.
Russell, look out!
This is my yard, Pooch.
Yeah, Russ!
The strongest tag team is family.
That was great! That was poetry in motion.
This movie's amazing. Have you ever wanted to see a small child get fucking body slammed by a 250-pound actual wrestler?
Holy
Okay, well, actually, I
shit.
guess it's not the real wrestler that does it, but still, holy shit.
Like, the visual representation of a scrawny white kid standing against a mountain of meat.
Like an 8-year-old. Okay, he's probably 10, but still.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh.
actually, how old is this child? Hold up, I'm curious now, because it's like...
He's 8 to 10, yeah, for sure. Like, in the film.
He's not old. He's...
No. It's real good.
He's a real small little child. I've seen a little bit of autocomplete saying Russell Madness 2, and I can't find any other information about it, so it's probably not true. But I need it to be, boy, because I need it to be true. Like, I really, really need it to be true.
I don't want to give Airbud Entertainment ideas, but in this case, as an exception, I'd accept another dog wrestling movie. Sure, that sounds good to me.
I'm super down with them getting, like, actual wrestlers again to beat the ever-loving shit out of Russell Terriers.
No, I'm good with
in
that.
the most absurd manner. Well, or in a better twist of event, for the Russell Terrier to wrap its comically large stretch arms around their neck and fucking choke them to death.
I would accept more puppet dog on actual wrestler movie. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I would accept that. And there are let me preface this. There are parts of this film that are fucking terrible, but the 20 minutes way outweigh the rest of the shit. So it doesn't matter.
I realized at the end of this movie, because like we just kind of talked over the parts that didn't matter.
Oh, because it's fucking boring shit.
Because it was boring shit. I wouldn't say there's 20 minutes of good footage in this film. I would actually say there's more like 30 or 40, honestly. There's more good in this film than you'd expect. Apparently this child, by the way, was 13 when this movie came out. So it was a little...
Okay.
But still, he's like this scrawny little 13-year-old just getting fucking dropped by this big, weird German man and leader. Anyways, but like... This movie is the perfect thing that what you should do is you should sit down and like be playing cards with a bunch of friends and have this on a TV in the background. And every like 5 minutes you like go back to playing cards, and then when you start hearing like something happening on the screen, just like everybody pause, turn, look over, watch the screen for another 5 minutes, and be like, all right, that scene's done. Let's move back to cards. Like it's perfect for that. Like get really drunk with a bunch of friends playing poker, whatever, Magic, whatever nerd game you want to play, and just put it in the background because it is fucking perfect for that. It's so good.
Like, it's not a good film story-wise. It's very basic, bare bones,
it's a kid's
awful
movie.
writing to some extent. But the wrestling scenes, they clearly had somebody that cared about wrestling and how it should be presented on screen as an entertainment medium.
You bet they didn't. His name's the Hammer!
The Hammer! Hammer time!
Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
Oh, yeah!
This fucking rules.
This is so good.
And they got a real wrestler from the WWF and SmackDown and all these other random shows that they run. Raw, I guess. I think he's been on a few.
He's
but, like,
still
they got
on
a real
SmackDown
wrestler.
and Raw.
Yeah, they got a real wrestler.
He's
and
still on SmackDown and Raw. He's an actual wrestler.
He goes by John Morrison, Johnny Nitro, a couple other names.
Johnny
And
Spade.
He put on a show. He treated this like a real wrestling event, and it fucking shows. Like,
yes, he 100% commits as an actual character and as like a real wrestler in this, and it fucking pays off in spades. It's so good. They have. I love so much of the plot of that. Like, you say that the plot is terrible, and it is, but we'll get into the plot because the ending like twists of like why they're bad guys is incredible.
It doesn't even make sense. It's so bad.
It doesn't make any sense. So we start out, and it starts immediately with her piss dog.
Yeah, why is there every movie we watch has piss?
So cute.
Okay, he is really.
Did you have to start with a piss joke?
Oh, sorry. Russell doesn't usually do this.
How many dog movies have piss jokes?
Give him a chance.
What he really meant was, I always did this.
Russell, you have to stop peeing on all the customers, or you'll never find a family. What are you so scared of, anyway?
It was a good question.
It's a piss pervert. It's because the Airbud director is
the director
weird.
of
That's
the Airbud movies is a piss fiend.
Yes. That's exactly it.
Come on, he's like a piss dictator. This is not okay. You can't have this much, you can't have this much piss in your movies. Fucking
you can, and he will.
Fuck you.
Really. He's a real big fan of pissing,
like,
farting, bad breath, pulling out nose hairs in this one, which was a new thing.
Yeah, that was weird. But like this guy absolutely has a piss tape at home.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely cannot make it through a film without a single piss joke.
So the dog is this Russell Terrier, and it's a Russell Terrier puppy at the beginning of the movie, the very, very beginning. It's in a pet store, and they can't sell the dog off because every time somebody picks him up, he pisses in their face.
It's a gallon. It's a fucking gallon of piss.
Holy shit. Yeah. I don't know that I could pee as much as this dog does when it goes
every
in people's
time.
faces.
Every fucking time. So yeah, they can't sell the dog, and the dog ages out from the pet store, essentially.
Which is also like the worst pet store in existence because they keep it in like the glass puppy cage even overnight with like no food or water or anything. Like, it's just like sitting in this like bare cage.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's just a pet store. Never mind. That's just
the piss is sort of an act of defiance against the man.
Mm-hmm,
It's against the patriarchy of this pet store bullshit. Anyway,
In any case, there
Very
is
pissed
one
this.
pet store employee that really likes the dog anyways and keeps
Yeah.
on going like, oh, you gotta stop pissing. You can't just be a piss pup. Nobody will love you. But
This sounds like a joke.
No,
It's
it
not.
sounds like a joke, but it's not. It's not. Anyway, the one guy really wants to take the dog, so after the dog has been there for a year, which, by the way, there's no way they'd take that dog for a year, but he is like, okay, well, if you're going to send the dog to the pound, I'll adopt him. And then when they go to adopt the dog, like, kicks the manager, who's an asshole, and runs out the door and almost gets run over by a car, but instead does a really cartoony dumbass slide over it. I don't know. It's very stupid.
Who gives a shit? Yeah.
Who gives a shit? This isn't the important part. At the same time, while this dog runs away and is now homeless, there is a family that buys an 1880s wrestling ring, but it's actually the 1980s, I guess.
I think it's technically that they've inherited it in a will from his dad, who used to run the wrestling like company or whatever, the theater. So
I wanted this wrestling ring though. Okay, it's a P.T. Barnum. It's a Barnum and Bailey like circus wrestling ring. It's the wildest stupid shit. It has a big sign over the front, like not a sign over the front, like inside of the arena. Over the arena in like it's an opera house arena with like theater seats and red carpets and like chandeliers, and they have it's all
vintage
super
1800s.
old timey.
Yeah.
And they have a big engraving over the wrestling ring which says,
"The strongest tag team is family."
Fucking dumb shit.
Fuck off.
It's so bad. It sucks so much. The strongest tag team was Kane.
No, it was fucking Kane and Big Show. Everybody knows that. This is bullshit.
How do they not know that? They should know that. That's the strongest tag team in wrestling.
Introducing first, at a combined weight of 827 pounds, they are the World Tag Team Champions, Kane and the Big Show!
Strongest tag team is family.
Fuck.
Anyway, it's the strongest tag team's family. There's a weird dumbass monkey who I thought was played by Richard Kind, but is instead played by knockoff Richard Kind, Will Sasso.
Everybody loves Mad TV's Will Sasso. The monkey's name is Hunk. I don't know why.
And it's so like they have like a whole circus feel to it though. Like it's not like an old timey wrestling. Like they go like, oh yeah, back in the 80s,
it's like
when
a
this place was a real
ringleader's
place.
monkey.
Because like I thought that's what they were doing. I thought like he said, oh, it was Pop's place, and the way they made it sounded like grandfather. And I was like, oh, okay, maybe they're trying to say this was like early 1900s, like 1890s, like weird ass wrestling for like strongman competition kind of shit. Like guys with big curled mustaches and beer bellies, right? Like it feels like that.
It feels like a 20s theater, like a 1920s.
Yes.
Or something. Yeah. No,
but then instead it's the 1980s.
No, it's not the 1980s. Discount Adam Driver says specifically in a time called the 80s. Like
yes,
a fantasy,
a magical time
like a
called
magical
80s.
fantasy period called the 80s. Fuck you.
Back in its heyday, in a time called the 80s.
In the time?
Wait, what? No.
The 80s?
What?
Welcome, fans, to Thursday Night
What?
Ferraro Wrestling. I'm
What? What's even better is, okay, I'm a 34-year-old man. I'll admit it. This man's not older than me. Like, I don't think that he's much. If he is, a couple years. So it's like, wait, were you alive in the, like, were you alive when this was up? Like, I was born in 86. This man had to be 2 when this place was closed down. Just no idea.
Here's a bit of trivia. Where is this theater located? This 1800s theater that is from the magical time called the 80s. What city are we in? Where is this setting?
You're asking for a lot of attention for me to have paid during scenes that were not people clotheslining each other.
No, it's the mean alleys of Portland.
Oh, fuck! Right? Yes, they say that.
The same place where Bruce Wayne's parents got shot in a back alley.
Yeah, they actually, as a non-joke, there's a character that goes like, "You're gonna need to get tougher to survive on like the really mean streets of Portland, Oregon."
Yeah, like fucking Portland. Come on. What are they gonna
God
do?
damn it.
Get harassed by a fucking wagon of food trucks? Come on.
However, okay, this does make way more sense now, though. I've suddenly understood that suddenly all of the setting and stuff does make sense because a hipster's venue in the 80s for wrestling that looks like it's strongman circus stuff in the 1800s actually would exist in Portland, if anywhere. So, yes, okay, suddenly it's all coalescing. They figured it out. They got one way to make it work.
And afterwards, you can go get some voodoo donuts.
But really good coffee.
Okay, so they take this theater, they spruce it up a little bit, and then they're like, let's just reopen the wrestling thing. Let's start that whole thing that my dad did and become wrestlers again. This is great. And they can't find any wrestlers because all the wrestlers they know are like booked by WUF. Woof.
Oh, which took us way too long to realize it was woof. It took us so long. I didn't realize until I said it out loud either. It was like
I think it's the Wrestlers
the
United Foundation is the thing they came up with, but so they can't find any wrestlers, so they go to Craigslist and they just say, "Hey, we need wrestlers."
She goes, "Okay,
like,
I know what to do."
The wife acts like she's a genius for going to Craigslist.
Well, but she also says, she goes, all right, listen, I have an idea. And she goes, Craigslist, types it, and she goes,
wanted wrestlers.
Enter.
Period.
Now we
Done.
have wrestlers. And it's like, wait, does that, no info?
Yeah.
You're gonna get murdered. But, oh god, there's, so yeah, like, there's just the whole wrestler thing, and I like that, it was Mike Vaughn, was it?
Mick Vaughn,
Mick
I think.
Vaughn.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah,
which is
a good
Vince
portmanteau.
McMahon.
Like, you know, the last name is a
McMahon,
portmanteau of, like, Vince McMahon, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's what they're trying to do, basically.
They're trying to do some weird thing. And, like, it's played by John Ratzenberger, and let me tell you, there are moments where they show Mick Vaughn in the John Ratzenberger in the height of his wrestling career, where they have photoshopped John Ratzenberger's face on some like ripped spandex clad man, and
it's like if you put
incredible
the Dunkachino face on, like, you know, Randy Savage or something. Man. Like it looks like that. It's like Dunkachino wrestling. It fucking looks dope as shit.
It's so good. I want that
Don't
cutout
mind if
of
I
fucking
do.
John Ratzenberger as a wrestler so goddamn bad. I want it so bad. You have no idea. I would have it behind me on every stream. I would always have it. I would cuddle it in bed.
Our dog Russell is in the mean alleys of Portland, Oregon. Ooh, right outside of the venue. And getting harassed by another dog. And
which dog, governor? Oh yeah, give me that sausage, It's fucking
Who gives
weird.
a shit? It's fucking weird.
But he's got like the weirdest, stupidest fake British accent. I don't know why. And he's in the film. Like this other dog is in the film for a minute, 2.
Yeah, I don't really care about that dog.
Weird.
That
No.
dog
It
sucks.
doesn't matter. It's like the stuff that's not the wrestling can be atrocious. Like, I just want to let people know, like, we're gonna gush over this movie because it's so good when it's good. But like you said, man, there are some. You're gonna have to get over a few lows. This is where you turn back to your card game and just start playing again.
But
like, don't pay attention to
the point is, they're doing their first matches with their Craigslist wrestlers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they have a guy dressed up as like a prisoner in a criminal outfit, you know,
Vic Vice.
And they have Malibu from American Gladiator show up, or with his surfboard.
With his surfboard, yeah.
And he shows up. He's like, "Dude, I don't wrestle. I'm just a model. I don't give a shit. Like, I'm not
model.
That
He's
guy,
like modeling,
that guy
surfing,
like
wrestling.
crushes
It's all the
concrete,
same, man. What's
bro.
up?
What if I gave you $200? when do you want me to lose?
Yeah, make it 3 bennies, and he's like, all right, fine, I'm going in.
Yeah, so he goes in, he gets a surfboard cracked on his head and thrown around, like, yeah, this fucking rules.
They have some real wrestling shit in there, because,
Yeah.
like, when he goes out and gives him the money to go and face this guy, too, they do it in front of the crowd. Like, he runs over and gives him the money in front of the crowd, and I feel like that's, like, a very wrestling storyline thing to do, of being like, no, man, like, I can't get in there, and it's like, all right, like, okay, like, they're both kind of heels, right? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It works so well as, like, an act. Somebody really, really like classic wrestling and stuff doing this movie. They wanted to nail the wrestling part.
So he gets his ass kicked and leaves the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And none of the other wrestlers that they've talked to will wrestle this guy because he's a fucking animal. He's a freak. He's a genetic freak. and they, so as we're noticing this, we notice this guy in the background watching the show, and he has an oxygen tank, and he's in like his 80s. God. And we're like, that's really funny that they put that 80-year-old man with an oxygen tank in the background. And then he gets up, he's like, oh, fight him, and starts ripping off his shirt and shit. And it's like, holy fuck.
So good. He looks, when they first kind of show him in the background, his hair and stuff, like, they kind of glance over him, and I thought it was like, I'm like, holy shit, did they get Danny DeVito to sit in the crowd?
Yeah,
like,
I think they did, though. It would have been so good.
Mm-hmm.
It's the perfect, I'm the trash man. Like, it would have been great. It would have been great. But this old guy, like, rips off his shirt and starts challenging this Vince guy. And like, holy shit.
Who will face me? Who is man enough? Will somebody fight the pansy? Don't make me come down there. I know. I'll calm down. You're right. I need some potassium. I will.
This is a very good
Yes!
Yeah!
Yeah!
Hit him with the oxygen tank!
Fuck yeah!
Okay. See, like...
No, go away from the dog shit. Go back to the wrestling. That was great.
Yeah, I don't give a shit about this.
Hello there, Ross.
But at the same time, like, the head of the family, slash person who owns the place, Discount Adam Driver, I don't fuck his name, he's Discount Adam Driver, he starts putting on a costume, and he tells the announcers, hey, just go, with whatever happens next, just go with it. It's fine. Because he's going to come out and wrestle, right? That's his plan.
Mm-hmm. I do want to mention that the announcers are Charles Robinson and Fred Willard, which are like two really good actors. Like, they're pretty great, and they're really funny. They were good. Like, they were good announcers.
They did a bit about chimney sweeping before that, for no reason other than to kill time.
So weird.
And it's just like, why are you talking about chimneys? And then in the next scene that they show up, like, one of them starts, like, pulling out, like, a chimney sweep and a hook and all this other shit. Like,
they're like, we're running out of material. I don't know what to do.
Just, like, expand on this throwaway, dumb Mary Poppins joke. I'm like, holy shit, that rules. But, okay, so he says, just do whatever. I don't care. Go with it. And what happens is Malibu, well, actually, the dog runs out to the carpet. Right, because he runs into
it gets chased into the. It gets chased by the bad dog that's trying to steal its food into the ring, and they're like, "Oh, they said to go with it, so here's the new challenger. It's the dog."
It's because the guy backstage is like, "Hey, Malibu, go get that dog away from the stage." Okay, so Malibu like walks out and then like walks back scared, wrestling style, you know, like you do for gravitas. So the people that are running the show, the announcers are like, well, he said go with it. There's a dog. I'm fucking this fucking criminal wrestler picks up the dog, and they had to do another fucking piss joke.
Yeah, oh god, right, it does pee in his face.
He had to pee in his face. But that like pisses him off enough to be like, okay, I'm gonna wrestle this fucking dog. It pissed on my face. You don't that is not okay. You can't do that. And we get the best scene in the whole fucking movie, like right now, immediately. Correct. And I'll give you this scene because, god damn it, it's so good.
Oh, giving it to me.
Yes, take it.
Yeah. So the man's like, all right, fine, I'm gonna fuck this dog up, and he charges towards it wrestling style with his arms out, like leaning forward. And the dog CGI jumps, does a backflip over him, turns into a puppet on his back. And then they have, like, weird stretch arms around his neck as he fucking chokes him out into the mat.
Sleeper holds him with his paws.
Like, this man's face turns purple and he just goes, boom! Down into the mat with this fucking Jack Russell. Like, okay, to give you an idea again, this is a Jack Russell Terrier. This is like a tiny, tiny dog. This dog's funny. This dog is at most 15 pounds. This tiny little dog just chokes this man into the mat. And everybody's stunned into silence and starts screaming and cheering and throwing
Holy
shit.
It's good.
The best shit ever.
All right, Doggie, I'm gonna teach you a new trick.
This man's gonna murder this dog. And... God, okay, the eyes in front of the hands in front of the eyes. Be good.
How many times have we... Oh,
what
yes!
the fuck is
There's
going
a puppet
on?
on his back. Oh, this rules!
Wait, what?
This fucking rules!
What? What?
Holy shit!
This is the greatest movie we've ever watched.
Well, I'll be a monkey's uncle. The kid has moved.
He just fucking killed that man.
Sleeper holding him. I don't even. There's no setup for this. It just happens.
Big fight.
Holy shit. Like, this is... They reached a high point 20 minutes in.
They will never reach it again.
I had no idea how they would ever top that, and they couldn't. They couldn't.
I will say, though, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't, like, see the rest of this movie, because they certainly try. They get close. They really try and go for it a few times.
But, so somebody in the crowd recorded the match and uploaded it to YouTube, which got a million views overnight. And the people making this movie think a million views on YouTube is a lot.
So, apparently. Of course, so CNN shows up like you do for every million view YouTube.
CNN shows up and as, hey, your dog wrestler got 1 million views last night. What do you have to say about it? What? That's what... Like, it's fucking YouTube, lady.
What's the
YouTube? What's YouTube?
Who says the interwebs? There's somebody that says the interwebs in this movie. I can't remember who it was.
Yeah, that is the Vince McMahon character.
Okay, he eventually says, yeah, like they're fucking clueless about
what the internet is. He says
your
dog is really popular on the interwebs.
Right. Yes. Yeah. John Ratzenberger. Yeah. God, John Ratzenberger gets the best lines in this movie.
God. So, like, the point about that is, by the way, Vince McMahon showed up and was like, hey, I saw your dog on YouTube, and we want to, you want to make a deal? Get the dog on the WWF? Hey, yeah. No, I'm good. I didn't want to hear your offer. Go away. Because his dad did the same thing in the mystical time of the 80s.
Yes.
And said no, which is what caused their entire business to fail and crumble in the past. So that was a good idea.
Yeah, it's kind of implied that somehow this man, like, I don't know, Vin. I'm just going to call him Vince. I know that he's, okay, Vaughn. It's Vaughn. Vaughn somehow shut them down, right? Like, that he did something underhanded. But they never say what it was or go into detail or show any of that. So it's kind of not there.
Well, it's implied that the reason that his dad didn't sign off is because he's an innocent small business owner who runs his own mythical business. And because I'm my own owner of my business in the Midwest, it's in Portland, but they're doing a Midwest thing. Like, support local businesses. Like, that's what it is.
Yes, big business sucks. Local small businesses that are turning into big businesses are great.
That's the point. That's the point they're making, and it's dumb.
It's very stupid. Anyways, so he gets turned down as Big Shot Man, and then a building inspector shows up, and this building is from the fucking 1900s again, like the early 1900s, not the 80s. This building, it's such a weird old, like 1920s style building, and it's got like all these. They actually do really good set design, I would say, for the most part, where there's like lots of dust and cobwebs and stuff. Like they sell what it is, and like the sets look great actually.
They tried, yeah,
yeah. I would say, but like, so the building inspector goes around and tests their sprinklers and all these things, and of course they have more yucky, gross humor because why not? She gets like sprayed with like goop from Nickelodeon while she's doing the sprinklers. I don't know, and
they just.
All this stupid shit. It doesn't matter. So she says that
it's just physical
humor.
The code. Yeah. I don't know why it matters.
That matters.
She looks like the character from Futurama that's like super uptight, but it really wants fry.
Yeah. Dirty boy. Dirty boy.
She's that character.
Yeah, she loves the dirt, but she has to pretend that she doesn't. It's her kink. Yeah.
I mean, just like the director.
Oh god, is this a stand-in for the director? Yeah. Hold up, is this a stand-in for the director?
Yes.
Dirty girl.
Dirty.
Oh, God, now I'm starting to understand why you threw so much like gack and stuff on this poor woman. Anyways, so she tells them that it's going to cost you $70,000 roundabouts or whatever to, get this building back up to code, and you can't do anything in the meantime. So he goes, oh shit, maybe I should have actually talked to the guy that was offering me a whole lot of money. And so he goes to talk to him, and John Ratzenberger gives him like the most,
He's like, hey, I want to help you with your business. I also want that dog on our show.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna make you a deal. Here's a contract. I just want 51%, and you can have the rest. And then I'll fix your building, bring it up to code, spend all the money. I'll advertise for you. I'll give you merchandising deals.
You can use all of our talent. All of our talent will work with you. All of our talent is totally shared. We'll do all of that. All the promos and stuff are shot by us. We have all of our advertising and stuff on it. Like all the marketing's for us, and you'll just get 49% of the share. And he's like, "What do you want in return?" He's like, "Well, we'll do 51% majority share." And it's like, "Oh man, like yeah, he's real sleazy." And it's like,
that seems pretty fair, actually. Yeah,
beyond fair. It's extremely generous.
Yeah. What? Hello.
Wait, what? Why is he a bad guy? Oh, okay. I mean, sure.
It's not immediately clear for like 99% of the movie why the movie thinks he's bad.
Oh, it's not clear after that either.
No, not either.
But anyway, we'll get to that. Anyways, so he signs the deal.
Even though the monkey tells him not to.
Yeah, the monkey can talk to people. Don't worry about it. It doesn't matter.
No, it's fucking pointless. By the way, that monkey is the same monkey that was in the Night at the Museum movies, which means that the Air Bud Cinematic Universe also takes place in the Night at the Museum Cinematic
No, it doesn't. Fuck you. I'm not watching those.
That means Ben Stiller, Owen Wilson, Robin Williams are all part of the Air Bud Cinematic Universe as well. Add that to your lore sheet, listeners. Thank you.
So... Anyway, the monkey's also the trainer of the dog, by the way, but they have like training montages and stuff throughout this. It doesn't matter.
That also doesn't matter, yeah.
No, that is so extraneous to this film. Again, you need to turn yourself off of this movie for like 10 minutes at a time, and then come back for 10 minutes, and then just go away again. That's the way to watch this movie.
Because the dog also fights a mummy and a Mongol.
Oh, God. The mummy fight was where I got really disappointed. I was certain this movie was going to be one good scene at the beginning of him choking the man out, because when he comes in for his second fight, they have a battle royale, and then he's going to fight whoever wins the battle royale, and it's this guy in a mummy costume, and I'm like, oh, fuck no. They're going to do the cheap, easy way out, and just... Because they're really enamored with this film. One thing that they really, really like, and I think this director just likes it in general, because we've seen enough of their films by now. They do a lot of like fast footage and reversing footage. So they'll like speed things up, slow things down, reverse
it's like
do
super lazy editing.
Yeah, and it looks like garbage. And so you're like, oh, okay, well they can just speed up him spinning the mummy around while he unwraps him, and that's going to be their thing. And that's exactly what they do, and it looks like garbage, and it's stupid, and it's not fun. Like it's not a wrestling thing. It's not a wrestling move. There's nothing there. So he does that to the mummy guy, and it's like, oh, he wins. And I'm like, oh, they're going to do every fight like this now.
The fights aren't very good until the end.
Yeah. I think that all the fights after that get good again.
Yeah,
so there's at least that.
They're going on tour with the WUF.
Mm-hmm.
City to city, SmackDown every Saturday or Thursday or whatever. or Monday Night Raw, and they're just doing all these shows with Russell fighting all these wrestlers, and we finally get to the highlight, which is when they introduce Hammer, the Hammer.
Yes. And this is John Hennigan is his real name? I missed it again.
But goddamn,
John
he
Hennigan.
does a show. He does a goddamn show.
Oh my god. He's known as John Morrison normally in wrestling. He is a actual WWE wrestler, like we said. And fuck, he rules.
He does this anvil thing when he comes on stage, like bam, hammer, hammer, hammer. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, I love the hammer. This guy rules.
They did the right thing. They have when they do the intros for these people and they're showing that, like, they have Russell come out and he has like the big WUF sign behind him with like fireworks and lights, and they have a rap song for the dog.
Yeah, he comes out on a rap song,
which is like that. But that's WWE, right? And then when they bring out Hammer, he's like, hammer down, and it's in time to like this AC/DC knockoff fucking music that's like screaming it like this hair metal from the 80s, and it fucking rules like that. But that's exactly what this character would be in real life wrestling, right? Like, it's
just like a larger than life, I'm important fucking like persona, which is what you do when you're trying to become the heel on a wrestling show. Yes, you try to make the people hate you by being a fucking asshole.
And he's wearing like the whole fur coats and like tinted sunglasses, the whole 9 yards. It's all of it. He's got the belt over his shoulder. It's perfect. It is 110% exactly wrestling, and he is exactly a wrestler because he is one, and it's perfect. Like, I can't stress enough how well he does at this. Like, he could have phoned it in and not bothered because this.
He could have pulled a Hulk Hogan. He could have pulled a Hulk Hogan.
Right? Yeah, he could have easily just not done anything.
But he didn't.
No, he didn't. He puts his full effort into it. He does like the whole like the stare downs and stuff that they do during the scenes, like the eyebrows and everything, like the menacing eyebrows. Like, he does all of it.
All of his like even just movement in the ring, like getting up and staggering and all that stuff looks like it should in a regular WWE match because he's just using his skills. Like, they fucking nailed it with the casting to get this guy.
Oh yeah, and like
for this movie.
He crawl in the final fight, like to talk about like the way that he moves and stuff, because it's a Jack Russell Terrier on the ground. He goes down on all fours and like crouches really, really low and like
eye to eye.
Crawls towards him in like this really weird, menacing way, and it's great. It's so dumb, but it looks perfect. It's exactly as stupid as it needs to be, while being just absurd in such a degree. He always has a big thing about, he's like, I have gravitas. It's like his big like, catchphrase thing. Oh, it's good.
Gravitas. So Russell and the Hammer are going to wrestle because it's a title match and the Hammer has the title. Vince McMahon wants him to throw the match to Russell so that they can transfer the belt and raise more entertainment money by hyping up this new superstar that they have. You know, wrestling.
Wrestling. I want you. This is the
supposed to be a bad
that
guy, poor.
Yeah, this is the storyline that we have for this championship. You know, like wrestling does.
Like wrestling. And it's bad. The monkey calls out, like, oh shit, they're doing an underhanded deal to, like, throw the match. Motherfucker, that's wrestling.
Yeah, everybody. This is the twist where finally John Ratzenberger is the bad guy. He's the bad guy because he does wrestling. Because everybody else thought it was
fake,
real.
Because it's a story.
All of the actual wrestlers before now thought that this was all real and were actually fighting this Russell Terrier. Fucking rules. It's so dumb. It's such a stupid fucking twist. And like John Ratzenberger, they like call him out on it. They're like, "Oh my god, like you were gonna like pay him to take a dive," and he's like,
"Yeah,
that's the storyline. That's the storyline. But it's wrestling. Yeah, what do you think we do? do you know what we do here? Do you wrestle? What's wrong with you people?
Like, how were you this deep into the wrestling industry and you don't realize that there's an entertainment story behind it? Like, what are you fucking stupid? What are you?
Family of wrestlers. Like, they're a whole family that, oh god, by the way, I just want to real quickly, the dad here that's supposedly from a family of wrestlers, when we first see him, he's in a fucking cardigan.
Yeah. Discount
ass.
Adam Driver in a cardigan sitting down with his kids talking about how he wrestles and he likes wrestling. Yeah. No, motherfucker. You're like,
It makes sense why he thinks that wrestling is real. Like,
holy shit. It's so
and
dumb.
that's not to say, like, listen, that's not to say that wrestlers don't have a lot of skills and stuff. For sure. And like that they get hurt, they do like the stunts and stuff are hard. But it's still coordinated. It's not like, actually fighting.
They also act like they don't like practice routines and do matches ahead of time so that they know what they're doing at what time so they don't hurt each other. Like literally.
I have bad news. The Undertaker did not really go to hell and steal people's souls.
Come on. Fucking
I have terrible, terrible news. That was not a real thing that they did.
Jesus.
But so that's his why bad thing that he's doing is that he has destroyed the illusion of wrestling and that it is not actually real and this dog is not actually fighting men that are 255 pounds and 6'10" ripped abs and stuff.
No, but they did do some really neat things. Like during that match where he's fighting the Hammer, the Russell pulls his hair back like you would like with a wrestler, like pulling his hair and his head up and stuff. Like
this is where we got excited again because they actually do real moves.
Yeah, there's some good shit going on. And then the Hammer, as the heel does, pulls out a secret weapon and hits him while the ref isn't looking with a dog whistle.
Yes.
Like a wrestler.
Yeah, and everybody's screaming like, "No, he's cheating!"
Ref, look, ref, and the ref is clearly not looking because it's wrestling. That's the story.
Fucking rules. It's so good. And but they do a bunch of moves. Like John Hennigan, the Hammer, gets like thrown into the turnbuckle and stuff. Like hits his head on it. Like they do a few things like that.
It's so good though because after they do all that shit, he goes to pin the dog and he's like pinning this dog puppet. It's so fucking good.
Yeah, he jumps off the top rope and the dog turns into a puppet for like a 30 seconds and then it's him on top of this dog puppet while they're like yelling out the pins. It's so good. It's so good.
Yeah.
Anyways, so the dog loses and then they go and confront John Ratzenberger and they're like, "Oh my god, it was supposed to be rigged," which... Then why are they mad? Because now their dog lost legitimately?
Yeah. Like, I can't believe wrestling's fake. Where we come from in small business land, wrestling is real.
In small town Portland, wrestling is real.
Christ. It's real. I'm taking my dog and leaving. Well, actually, you signed the contract that also gave me the dog. Mm-hmm. So, no, you're not. Fuck off.
Yeah, because... Okay, this is the one part where I'm like, okay, this is an asshole, and they do kind of make him like Vince McMahon, because it's like, well, I own the rights to all the dogs' names and stuff. Like, I have all that. Because it's like, oh yeah, that, however, is Vince McMahon and is scummy. Okay, yes, correct. There you go. But, yeah, they do the whole thing where Vince McMahon character, oh god, I'm never gonna remember his name. Mick Vaughn. Yeah, Mick Vaughn yells at the guy, being like, "What the hell were you doing? You were supposed to take the ball." He's like, "Yeah, but now we can do a rematch." He's like, "Oh shit, you can! All right, rematch, we'll do that." And so they have this whole thing back and forth.
Because it's a good idea.
They're like, "No, I'm not gonna rematch. You guys are cheaters. You don't do real wrestling that's real for real."
It's like a kid that takes his ball and goes home. It's so dumb.
But he goes, "Well, actually, we own the dog," so then they take the dog from the family.
They take the dog. At this point, the pet shop employee that actually bought the dog and technically legally owns it.
Foreshadowing! God, this is dumb.
Watched the dog on YouTube, and it's like, "Shit, that's my dog." And goes, and it's like, "Hey, that's my dog." "Oh, fuck, that's your dog." Then they go back to Mick, it's like, "Hey, that's his dog. You can't do that shit. Aha! fuck your legality.
It null and voids the contract,
Like-
which this would actually
Yeah.
make sense because if he shows that he owned the dog first, they can't have sold the dog to Vince McMahon. Like, it would make that contract invalid. It does make sense on that
So the
level.
pet,
I was
the
actually
pet shop employee kind of gives the dog back to the family.
Mhm.
And then the family, like, still doesn't own the building.
Arena, yeah.
Because they own 49% of it, right? Because that was still part of the contract. So they're like, hey, let's just have a match to determine who owns this, and then we'll go from there. And if we lose, you also get the dog, because we don't actually care about this dog as family, even though we keep saying that. It's just an object. And we want to use it to better our lives and kind of ignore it as an individual being that is wrestling for us. Our heroes.
Yeah, who cares about that? Let's get back to the wrestling. So the Vince McMahon, Mick Vaughn, Mick McMahon he goes and says like, hey, like, oh yeah, we'll do it, but it has to be a tag team match. And the child leans forward and goes, "You got a deal," and they shake hands, and Dad's like, "Oh my god, no, don't sign up for that." And it's like, well, he can't. He's 12.
12 or something. Yeah, this is the kid that was also like randomly training during scenes of montages for no reason. Who gives a shit? But the point is, they set up the tag team match.
The point is, we're gonna get to see this kid get fucking murdered by some real wrestlers.
Good.
That kid's gonna get clothesline, his neck's gonna snap off, and it's
so
gonna be
good.
Great.
They have a cage match, and they throw him off the top through the announcer's table, and like.
Do you remember when they threw that
hit him
child
with a
from
chair?
10 feet from the top of the Hell in the Cell?
Like, they hit him with a chair and a ladder. They jump off the ladder afterwards and throw him into the belt buckle. And like, oh, fuck, this kid gets destroyed.
They actually do a couple of wrestling moves on this child. It's kind of amazing.
Yeah. But, like, it's so good because they do the intro thing for the wrestlers as they come in. And it's exactly when your custom character shows up in a cutscene.
Yes.
The
It
video.
entirely feels like it was a bad, weird wrestling game where they unlocked like a secret character, a custom character, and they also unlocked like a 1970s weird ass like fake wrestling ring as the background. And it's just
because like there's a German in lederhosen, there's fucking a 13-year-old kid, a dog walks on stage.
And then an actual fucking SmackDown current wrestler.
Just the regular character that got randomly added in as an AI gets added in. Yeah. No, it's just like when your custom characters in your wrestling game show up. It's cool.
So good. It's so good. I
But
was like
the kid
laughing
wasn't supposed to walk on stage because it was supposed to be Discount Adam Driver, the dad.
Mm-hmm.
And the kid just walked out anyways, like, yeah, let's go, you fuckers. I'm in.
Yeah, and Dad's like, oh my god, my kid's gonna get fucking killed because I think wrestling's real.
And the mom gets pissed. The mom, who's named Karen, fucking goes up on stage and starts, "Oh no, you don't!" and starts whacking him with her fucking bag and like,
which I was like, "This is wrestling. They nailed it. It's wrestling." She's hitting the ref's dragging her out, and then like the kid gives oh god, how does he get he pokes the wrestler in the eyes.
And the
wrestler
gives him a
grabs
wedgie
him and fucking does like the backwards body slam, like
so he picks the kid up. He picks this kid up, holds him upside down, and then there's like body slams his head into the fucking ground, and like Jesus Christ. Talk to their manager. This is bullshit. Yes! This rules. Yes! Yes!
Oh! Yeah!
Yeah! Through the back! Yeah! Fucking you!
But then when he pins the kid rips his nose hair out.
By God!
That's a thing, I guess. It's fucking gross. It sucks. That's the one thing that sucks about that.
But then he wedgies him.
he wedgies him, and then when he's blind, he grabs the ref and like suplexes the ref. And
After wedging the ref,
yes, yeah.
He
Oh
suplexes
god,
him,
like that is such a wrestling thing. And then he's like struggling across the floor, like, and he's like, I can't see. And he's like, the other guy's like, tag me in. He's like, I can't see you. It's this whole like thing that's like super dramatic.
It's so good.
And the kid tags in the terrier, so then we have the final fight.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely give that to you.
So it's Russell versus the Hammer again. The Hammer pulls out his dog whistle again and starts cheating because the ref's been knocked out. The German fucking threw him out of the ring after wedging him. He's out. You can do whatever you want. There's no fucking ref, man. So he pulls out the dog whistle and starts whistling again, which causes Russell to fall to the ground like he did last time. And the Hammer goes onto the belt buckle, turns around, facing the crowd, starts like doing his like, yeah, I'm the fucking best. Like, I'm the fucking heel, man.
Hammer down.
Hammer, boom, 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 hammer. And then like the dog and the kid winked like, this is gonna be good. And he does a backwards like frog splash, and Russell moves out of the way, and he just slams into the fucking ring, gets knocked out, and then gets pinned. It's so good. Yep. It's so good because our fucking dog was wearing human earplugs. Of course, I should have known. Fucking,
it works perfectly. Yeah, there's nothing in the rules that says human earplugs don't work on dogs.
Yeah. So they win. They get the thing. They whatever. The wrestling was the important part. I don't fucking. But okay, so Vince runs up. He's like, "How the fuck did you lose?" And of course, our main character, who acts like Triple H, gets mad at him and just fucking throws him out of the ring.
Picks him up and throws John Ratzenberger out of the ring. Then people throw popcorn on him, and he gets up and he's like, "I own you." And he's like, "I'm not owned by anybody." And they have the whole wrestling thing again. John Ratzenberger kind of crawls out of the ring. It's so perfect for wrestling. It's great. I wanted to make mention too. I forgot the WUF announcer in the subtitles was Bad Chad, which just
Bad Chad.
There's little bits of like. There's little bits and pieces of so many things that we're not mentioning that are the little subtle flourishes on this are really what make it. Like
the moment of seeing like a small scrawny kid just getting thrown around a ring in like a circle and stuff like
by like 200-pound giant lederhosen.
Yeah, this giant mountain of muscle in lederhosen. It's so good. It's so it has no right being as good as it is.
No, it really doesn't. It really doesn't.
So that's Russell Madness, huh?
Yeah, that's
Russell
Madness.
I kind of want to watch wrestling now. Like
I was never really into wrestling, but watching this, we like every time that the family shit came on, because there's like little bits of it's like, oh, the biggest tag team and the strongest tag team is family, which it doesn't. Thankfully, it's not too much of it. Like. It's not a Wolverine and the Blob situation. If you have been a longtime fan, you've watched episode 3 of Rough Cuts, then you know, like, that movie has some really good moments in it, but it's like 5 minutes of the movie. And the stuff that's bad is so long and so bad. Like, just takes forever. In Air Bud 5, right? Was it?
For a movie like this that claims to care so much about family... The family is the most superfluous, worthless, pointless bullshit thing in the whole film. No one gives a shit about the family. The family doesn't do anything. They don't mean anything. It's just like platitudes. That's what it is.
Exactly.
It's platitudes.
But I have to say, I got to give them a little bit of credit for it. It feels like they knew that, and they just kind of slapped it in. Like, it feels like almost the reverse of Air Bud 5, where... they had like, oh, we've got to do family platitudes and pad this movie out forever, and like 90% of it is that, and then there's like this 10% of like a little bit of like this weird subplot of like jewel heists and shit that's just wild and like amazing to watch. And this is the flip of that. They like most of the family stuff, they just like shuffle it out of the way, wrestling back to the they just kind of keep going back to that, which makes this movie way better. more of this movie is wrestling than family shit, which is why it's watchable. Because if it had done it the other way around, we'd have been in trouble. But the
family shit was very low, though. It was like,
yes, it is. It is. But like, it is blissfully short most of the time, and you can just kind of like. Most of the time, we were so busy laughing and talking about the last scene still that by the time that we finished up our conversation about like, holy shit, did you see what they did to that kid? Look at that cut too, like where they like threw a guy out of the ring into a trash can, and there's like this hard cut where it's obvious like they throw him and then he's just sitting in the trash can, like where it's just like the energy's all gone. It's incredible. It's so bad. Like little things like that. We're talking about that, and by the time that we finished talking about it, it's. The family shit's over and we're back to wrestling again, so who cares? Like, it's a little bit of that.
Well,
so it was
the family
fine.
shit feels like it was written by a hack fraud.
Yes.
Specifically, the dad, says, "Hey, Mick Vaughn, I'm not going to sign your thing because you do real wrestling / fake wrestling. I do real wrestling." And then it shows up again, for the son, who now is the dad. It's like poetry, it rhymes.
Again, it's like poetry, so if they rhyme, every stanza kind of rhymes with the last one.
Like a hack fraud wrote it. Fucking Christ. Thanks, George Lucas.
What a great... It's not Yatterman or anything like that.
No, it's not.
No, it's nowhere near that level. But at the same time, like I said, if you have some friends over and you're doing something else and you want something for the background that's really funny every like 10 minutes or so or 5 minutes, you need to watch this movie. This movie is perfect as like a background thing. I enjoyed the hell out of this, man. This was...
Yeah.
I've never really been into wrestling, and after watching this, I'm like, I was spending like most of the time looking up like Kenny Omega's stuff, and I'm like, fuck, I need to see more like AEW. I need to go back into this and just dive in. God, it's just so perfectly cheesy when it's there, and it's amazing how well it does it. It's somebody in this film, and I feel like it's John Hennigan. Like, I really want to give props to him. I want to watch him specifically wrestle at this point because I feel like he maybe had some impact on it, or like whoever hired him for casting or something, like somebody on this cared about wrestling and they really nailed a lot of the wrestling stuff. Like they absolutely got the energy of what good wrestling is. Because there's so much dumb shit, like the mom running out and like hitting the ref with her purse and stuff. Like the wrestlers are still like screaming and running around the ring and stuff. Like that weird melodrama was amazing. It was so good.
Yeah, like there's a certain amount of just like crazy raw talent that is on display in this movie. And
yes,
for a movie in the Air Bud franchise. That's asking a lot. So,
oh yeah. Originally, when we saw the cast of this and it showed up and it said John Ratzenberger, and I was like, "Oh no," because like John Ratzenberger was in Super Buddies also, and like John Ratzenberger doesn't deserve this. I'm like, "Oh man, John Ratzenberger,"
because he was
lowered yourself
man,
again.
Right?
You don't deserve to be in this. And then John Ratzenberger's incredible, and the whole movie, like all the wrestling scenes were great. John Ratzenberger, there is not a bad scene with John Ratzenberger in it.
No.
He's incredible the whole time. He pulls off a perfect, like, villainous Vince McMahon. I can't say his name because I keep on mixing it up. Like Mick Vaughn. I mean, Mick Vaughn sounds like such a wrestling name. Like everything about it was. What a spicy movie. I was super happy about this. We really hit it out of the park with this one. This one ended up being a lot more fun than I thought it would be, and I'm super interested to maybe watch some wrestling now.
Somehow. All right, let's rate the dogs, right?
Yeah.
So Russell is a very good boy who could do a really solid sleeper hole. And the way he choked out that criminal wrestler, you know what? I'm going to give him a solid 13 out of 10. That was a solid sleeper hold.
I'm going to give him a very, very solid piss out of 10.
Piss out of...
really,
yeah, all the piss,
really into the pissing, and he just loves it.
Maybe not the piss, though. Yeah.
The piss pupper. I think that was his wrestling name, right? The pisser?
No, that's the director.
Okay. Yeah.
What about Brit Dog? British Bulldog thing.
I don't even want to talk about
that dog. I'm gonna give that dog like
pathetic dog
a very awful 9 out of 10. Ugh.
That dog, like,
Ugh.
it's a really cute little bulldog. It's got a really nice underbite kind of thing. It's got like the teeth sticking out, but God, it's in like the worst minute and a half of this movie. Right at the beginning of this movie is the hardest stuff to get through. But then once you get into like the choke out of Vic Vice or whatever his name was, then the movie starts rolling. Then things start going.
And there's one dog we haven't rated yet, the Hammer.
The Hammer?
The Hammer is a very good dog.
I can't even do it.
The way he does hammer, and we were going blood.
I wanted to see that kid get fucking like stunnered so bad, and they did it. They fucking
just stone cold stunner the kid. Like, yeah, fuck yeah.
I was cheering endlessly when they were like beating the shit out of this kid in a wrestling match. And the kid's like, "Oh, this is all real," and you're like, "Yeah, you go, kid.
Yeah, whatever, kid. Just go. It's fine." I'd give the Hammer an 11 out of 10. That is a good boy.
I give the Hammer a 14 out of 10. It's got to be higher than Russell. The Hammer is the best thing in this movie. I'm sorry. The Hammer beats the Russell. Russell pisses on everybody. Russell's a piss fiend.
That's true.
That alone, the Hammer wins.
Yeah.
Hammer wins hands down. Hammer down.
And next Sunday night on Super Slam, you're going down, Russell.
Next Sunday night on Rough Cuts, we're going to be doing a special 50-episode madness with 3 movies and a battle royale.
Now you might think with 3 movies you have a 33 and a 3% chance, brother.
That's not a joke. We're going to do that.
Oh yeah, we're going to do. Oh fuck. Oh fuck.
We have something very special planned for the next one. Stay tuned for that. We will be putting out, I think, some extra stuff around it. We'll kind of update as that happens. It might take us a little bit longer to edit than normal because we're going to do some extra things. Thank you all for being around for 50 episodes of this show. It has its highs and lows, much like this show itself does too. Our podcasts have. We've had some real good ones and some real bad ones. And this one was a pretty good one in my mind. But yeah, thanks everybody for supporting Rough Cuts for so long. It means a lot.
Mm-hmm. See you next time.
See you next time.